Good morning, mountain bikers. I'm Chris Wessels, and you are watching MTB Trail Review. Today, we're playing with the drone. I have the Ruko F11GIM2. So, I haven't really looked at much yet. I'm going to do this from like the most beginner standpoint possible. First off, I've never flown a drone. Second, I am reading the directions as I'm getting it on the trail. So we're going to find out how user-friendly this thing is. I just downloaded the app. But I'm actually really excited to get this thing out. I think it's going to have lots of mountain bike friendly features. The thing is tiny. It's really cool. It has a 4K camera. Here's your remote. You can easily get both of these things into a pack. It has a follow me feature. And yeah, I think it's going to be really good for mountain biking. And it's pretty affordable. So let's go see if we can figure this out. Okay, so we're set up. And once again, like I had barely even looked at the directions before we got here. Dan, this took us 7 minutes to get ready to fly, I would guess?
Yeah, 7 minutes tops.
And once again, that's without me looking at the directions first. If you do it like you should and look at the directions and download the app and all that, it'll take you less. So, we have our first flight. We're about to go right now. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of scared because this is something I've never done and I don't want to crash this thing, but I'm really excited to fly it. So, the app is really cool. It's pretty dummy proof, which is good for me. It has a button that you press. I just press the button and then I slide to turn the motors on. Then I hit another button to take off. So now that it's up, and I'm just gonna let it hover for a second. You can see like the camera is super clear. Like this is really cool. I don't have an SD card in there yet. I'm gonna mess with that later. Right now I'm just trying to do some basic flight stuff.
Hello, Bryce.
What's up, Bryce?
Hey.
I'm kind of feeling out the controls right now.
Yeah.
Get a little higher. It's kind of cool to look at the camera as I'm flying and just seeing. It's kind of cool to look at the camera while I'm flying and just kind of seeing what the drone sees. I'm not going to let it go too far away because I am still a little nervous with it.
I mean, the fact you're already up in the air and flying is pretty awesome.
It took less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, you've never flown a drone, right?
Never.
Yeah.
I will say that if you use a DJI, it's basically the same interface.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And this thing's pretty user friendly so far. Dude, this is so cool. I'm excited to actually play with it a little bit. So this is my buddy Bryce. He's an actual drone pilot.
I've never flown this type of drone before, though.
But we're gonna see what it looks like when somebody who knows what they're doing flies it.
Well, it's just like flying a very different machine, right?
Yeah.
I fly in acro mode, which is harder, but very different. Yeah, it's good. So we got throttle, pivot. Okay, it's just a tilt. It's just an auto level mode. That's what this is. Can you go into different flight modes?
I don't know yet.
Speeds? I would assume so, right?
Well, so this is flying in what you call auto level mode. So it's automatically leveling itself. See, without doing anything, it's just hovering. And as you push forward, you just move forward. And it handles your your tilt on its own.
Which is really good for somebody like me who has never flown a drone.
Yeah, or someone who's never flown a drone, you can pick it up and start flying, yeah. And that's what's great about the like pre-built drones.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'm gonna play around with different flight modes, not today, but I'm going to for sure, if they exist.
It's not too bad. Another flies too.
You can definitely see a difference with somebody who knows what they're doing versus me.
Yeah. So take him to the tree to see how good it is.
Yeah, let's not do that. Again, you want to give it a go, see how it compares to yours?
Yeah, and I love that you can just,
I'm curious if it has different speeds.
you don't have to be,
I'm curious too.
stays there on its own.
I'm gonna read the full user manual later. Today we just did the quick start guide. Oh, there actually is a beginner mode. That's what it is.
Oh, we in beginner mode?
Yeah.
That's good. Now that you've seen the setup process and the first flight and saw how easy it was to get this thing in the air, let me talk about how I feel about it and my thoughts just as a beginner who has never used a drone. We very quickly discovered that this drone is great for following somebody else. So if you are the pilot, it's very easy to lock onto a target, in this case, the target being me with my buddy Bryce, who is an actual drone pilot flying, and then follow that person or that target in order to get good footage. Also, the gimbal works really well. This footage is so smooth, and the drone was kind of being bounced around and flown all over the place because we were just getting used to it. Also, the 4K camera looks like a 4K camera. The footage came out super clear and incredible. I really, really like it, and I'm super excited to get some more. So I've talked a lot about how easy it was to use. The next big test was to try the Follow Me feature. And for that, we're going to go to Black Mountain, and we're going to ride Black Widow, which goes down the side of the mountain and is pretty wide open. If you've been following the national news at all, or if you're local to Southern California, you know that we've had a very weird weather year. We've had several storms that have done tons of damage and have just kind of ravaged Southern California. Because of that, I've been able to get limited footage because we just can't ride wet trails. Also, on this day specifically, the wind was ripping. And when I say ripping, I mean 15 to 20 miles per hour blowing up the face of the mountain with probably 30 plus mile per hour gusts. I was nervous about putting the drone in the air, but once I set up the GPS follow, it worked. It followed me. It fought the wind. You can see the gimbal shaking a little bit because the drone is being blown so hard by these winds. So the auto leveling on the drone definitely works. I had the controller in my backpack and it followed us until I stopped. One thing to note is at this price point, you're not going to get some of the fancier features, such as collision avoidance. So, if you are using the Follow Me feature, make sure that you're doing it in a wide open area where the drone doesn't have things to run into. So after having it up for a few, I decided that I wanted to stop, make sure it was still there, make sure that it was still following me. So I turned off the GPS follow to check it, and then we had a mishap. After readjusting it, I forgot to turn the GPS follow back on. I threw the controller in my backpack and I continued down the mountain, not checking on it because, well, it did such a good job the first time. And then I got down the mountain and I lost it. I couldn't find the drone anywhere. So I cruised back up, and to my relief and a little bit to my surprise, it went back home, just like it was supposed to. It landed in the exact spot from which it took off. So, good on Ruko for that. So, I love this thing. Especially at the price point, I think it's a great product. You can check out the link in the description if you'd like to look at it yourself. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. There is definitely more footage to come. I love this drone and I'm really excited to see what else I can get for you guys. As always, thanks for hitting the trails with me today, and I'll catch you on the next one.